Namaste. Thanks for joining me. I get the question pretty often from students about when the best time to practice is. And today's class is going to address that. My answer is almost always the best time to practice yoga is as soon as you wake up, or at least really close to the time that you do wake up. If you don't, chances are something's going to get in the way. You'll have meetings that you didn't know about, or traffic is bad, or you get hungry, or there's so many distractions kind of pop up throughout your day. Oftentimes, we have um, less time to practice yoga. So, the earlier in the morning for most of us, the better, because it gets done and you have the rest of the day to enjoy its benefits. So I do practice early in the morning, as early as I can. Might not be right when I wake up, but within, I don't know, first half hour or so, I'm going to do some stuff that's going to help just to wake up my body and my mind. Um, Usually it's nothing too fancy. It's almost never anything fancy. Um, it's basic stuff just to prepare my body and mind for the day. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's begin seated. Just come into any comfortable seated posture. And we'll take a moment or here to begin to practice pratyahara, drawing your awareness and your senses inward, the way a turtle draws its limbs into the shell. So you really notice how it feels to be in the body today at this time. And if you haven't already, begin to notice your breath without controlling it or shaping it. Just begin to feel its rhythm. All right, now keep breathing freely through your nose. Keep relaxing your jaw. Keep your eyes closed, but stretch one leg out. Then use your hands to massage your other foot, the foot of the bent leg, that is. And I do suggest keeping your eyes closed. Otherwise, people tend to stare at their foot. Don't stare at your foot. Focus more on feeling your foot and using your hands to wake up all its little joints. And if you feel a spot that has some tension in it, hang out there a bit and breathe. Okay, change sides. Wake up your other foot. And again, don't stare at your foot. Focus on feeling it and waking up all its little joints. Okay, good. Now stretch both legs forward and rest your hands on your knees so you avoid turning your knees and your thighs side to side and begin to mobilize your ankles. Try to isolate your ankle joints and take them through a full range of motion. Don't forget to do what's called dorsiflexion. It's when you pull the tops of your feet back towards your shins. It's hard for most of us. And if you can't do that very well, it's going to be really hard to squat, lunge, and things like that. We need good dorsiflexion. And then reverse it and go the other direction. Good. Now lean back on your hands. Just bounce out your legs a little bit. Wake them up. Let's do some easy windshield wipers. So bend your knees of your feet like shoulder width. Still take plenty of weight on your hands for now. When you exhale, drop your knees to one side. Inhale, bring them back up. Then exhale as you drop your knees to the other side. And just keep going at your own pace. Again, taking plenty of weight on your hands so your lower body can move freely on the breath. All right, good. Now let's do some bird dogs. So come up to your hands and knees. From all fours, inhale, lift your left arm and your right leg up. And then exhale when you bring your left hand and right knee to the floor again and change sides. Now inhale, lift your right arm and your left leg up. Exhale, back down. And try that a few more times. Whenever you inhale, you lift the opposite arm and leg. When you exhale, bring them back down. Okay, now we're going to go through circumduction with our right leg and hip next. Circumduction means that you take a joint through a circular motion. Your shoulders can do it and your hips can do it as well. Hips are hard though. So one thing I want to point out is when we do these circles with, in this case, my right leg, don't forget to bring your leg back and up. A lot of times people just kind of make circles down here. That's okay, but I want to take my hip through a full range of motion. And as I do that, I want to also keep my hips as level as possible. So when I lift my right leg out to the side, for example, I want to avoid lifting my right hip really high. I'll show you a different angle over here. Yeah. Oops. So let me go over here. This is better. So when I lift this leg out to the side, I want to avoid lifting my hip up. Keep them as level as possible. We're going to make a big circular motion, okay? So from your hands and knees, keep your hands down this time. But bring your right knee forward towards your right elbow, and then bring your right leg out to the side as high as you can without lifting your right hip. And finally, bring your right leg back and up nice and high, still hips level. And then bring your right knee forward again towards your right elbow, out to the side, and back and up. Imagine you've got a paintbrush on your right knee, and you're trying to paint the biggest circle possible with it, while keeping the rest of your body very still. Now, of course, when you do this, you'll feel all the muscles around the right hip joint engaging. Keep breathing smoothly through your nose. Keep relaxing your jaw. Now reverse it and make a circle in the other direction. Don't forget, big circle. Even bring your right knee back and up as high as you can. Okay, let's change sides. Bring your left knee forward towards your left elbow, then left knee and shin and leg out to the side, left knee back and up, and then forward again. Paint that huge three-dimensional circle with your left knee now while you keep the rest of your body very still. Then reverse it, go the other direction. Okay, Good. Now have a seat, preferably on your heels or a prop. Bring your palms together and make a circular motion with your hands so you begin to mobilize your wrists and elbows. When the backs of your hands are together, feel free to give a little pressure. And reverse it, go the other direction. All right, now bring your fingertips to your shoulders and make big backward circles with your elbows. So you take your shoulders through circumduction now. Keep breathing smoothly through your nose. Now alternate sides and add a little bit of a twist like you're doing the backstroke. All right, rest your hands on your lap, turn your head side to side like you're bringing your chin toward your shoulder. And then tilt your head side to side like you're bringing your ear toward your shoulder. Head up and down, chin toward your chest. And let's put it all together. Bring your chin toward your chest. Now bring your chin toward your right shoulder. Lift your chin up. Then bring your chin toward your left shoulder and down toward your chest like you're drawing a circle with your chin. And then reverse it. All right, good. So now let's go through some kneeling salutations. And for these, we'll link our breath to each movement. So breathe through your nose, but begin to make a sound in your throat. So we practice Ujjayi pranayama. From kneeling, inhale, reach your arms up, move your hips forward in space by engaging your glutes, and then exhale into child's pose. Now inhale up to your hands and knees, extend your spine so your sternum moves away from your navel, and then curl your toes under so you can exhale back into down dog. Inhale back to all fours, extend your spine. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale as you reach your arms up, move your hips forward. And exhale back to child's pose. We'll start that sequence again. Inhale to your hands and knees. Exhale to down dog. Inhale back to all fours. Move your sternum away from your navel. Exhale to child's pose. Engage your abdomen. Inhale, reach up, engage your glutes. And then exhale back to child's pose. So let's keep moving through that sequence now on your own, at your own pace. As I mentioned earlier, link each movement to one breath, but be mindful that you're stretching the breath so it lasts longer than the movement does. Inhales, it'll either be onto your hands and knees or you're reaching up to the ceiling. Exhales, it'll either be child's pose or down dog. Breathe through your nose, but hear the breath moving in and out of your throat. And something like a 5-second exhale and a 5-second inhale would be great. Now, the next time you're in downward facing dog, let's all stay there. I'll meet in this down dog. And once you're in down dog, take a few breaths. Exhalations now, focus on engaging your lower abdomen and lifting your pelvic floor. Inhalations, feel your rib cage expanding. Check out your feet, make sure they're about hip width or so, and then rock forward to plank. Now, of course, we have a bunch of options in plank. You can stay here. If it bothers your wrist, you can lower down to your forearms. If it feels like you don't have the strength to stay up in a full plank, you can always bring your knees down, but keep your abdomen engaged. And we'll do a little side planking as well. So from here, as you inhale, shift your heels to the right, reach your left hand up and keep your hips really high. If that's too much for you, of course, you can have your right knee on the floor as well. And then when you exhale, come back into the regular plank and change sides. So now as you inhale, shift your heels to the left, reach your right hand up, keep your hips nice and high away from the floor so you engage your core. And let's just try that a few more times. Whenever you exhale, you have both hands or forearms down. When you inhale, you're in the side plank variation with both of your feet on the floor, or you might have one knee down. Okay, now that we work our core up a little bit, let's lower all the way to the floor and come into Sphinx pose next. Let's take a few breaths here with your elbows under your shoulders. Create a little more length in your waist. Good, then bend your knees and make a circular motion with your feet and shins so you rotate your thighs a bit. And reverse it, go the other direction. All right, bring your feet back to the floor, hands under your shoulders, and inhale to upward facing dog. Lift your navel, broaden your collarbones, and then exhale back into downward facing dog. Okay, now in down dog, as you inhale, lift your right leg up, bending and open your hips like you're trying to touch the wall to your left with your right toes. Take a breath there. And then squeeze your right leg straight, level out your hips, point your right toes up toward the ceiling. Take a breath here. Exhale all the breath out. Step your right foot forward to the outside of your right hand. Get her up there. And then make a circular motion with your hips. Moving slowly, still feeling things out. And then reverse it, go the other direction. Good. Step back to plank pose. And then lower to the floor with control. Inhale to upward facing dog. And then exhale back into downward facing dog so we can change sides. This inhale, lift your left leg up, bend that knee, open your hips. Squeeze your left leg straight, level out your hips. Exhale all the breath out, step your left foot forward to the outside of your left hand. Make some hip circles on this side now. And then reverse it. All right, now step your right foot forward to the outside of your right hand again. So your feet are going to be pretty wide, about the width of your mat if you're using a mat. Keep your knees at least a little bit bent and cross your arms. So you can allow the weight of your arms and head to decompress your spine. Okay, now keep your knees bent. Bring your hands to your waist. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And with a flat back, inhale up to standing. Okay, so most of you know who watch my classes anyway on a regular basis that I love these squats. I love deep squats and all kinds of different squats. Let's just do the kind of basic squat. Both feet on the floor. Do your best to keep your big toes parallel to each other. Feet about hip to shoulder width or so. When we squat, make sure you avoid letting your knees knock inward. In fact, you want to resist your knees out away from each other. Okay? So inhale here, stand up nice and tall. As you exhale, bring your arms forward, backs of your hands together, and squat as deeply as you can with your heels on the floor, resisting your knees out away from each other. And as you inhale now, balance on your toes, externally rotate your arms, and focus on opening your chest and rib cage. Exhale and bring your arms forward again, heels back down, and then inhale to stand all the way up. Let's do it again. Exhale, deep squat, arms forward. Inhale, balance on your toes, open your chest and rib cage. Exhale, arms forward, heels down. Inhale as you stand up. Just try 3 more of those on your own, at your own pace. The next time you squat, let's stay down in that squat. Settle in here for a moment. If you have a difficult time staying in a squat with your heels down and without letting your toes point out, Charlie Chaplin style, you can bring your arms between your knees and grab the outside of your mat or grab some kind of object here so you can help to resist your knees away from each other, sink your hips, keep good extension in your spine, and breathe a little more. Okay, now shoot your left foot back into that lunge we had earlier. This time, they'll bring your left knee to the floor. Now, as you bring your left knee to the floor, make sure your right knee is stacked over your right ankle. Your right foot's flat on the floor. Right thigh bone pretty close to parallel to the floor. We're going to add a little twisting now. Keep your left hand down. Bring your right hand to the back of your head. Turn your shoulders to the right without lifting your right hip up, and point your right elbow toward the ceiling. Okay. Now, as you exhale, bring your right elbow toward your left elbow. Now, when you inhale, point your right elbow up, turn your shoulders, and open your chest. Let's try that a few more times. So whenever you exhale, you bring your elbows toward each other. When you inhale, you point your right elbow up, turn your shoulders, and open your chest without lifting your right hip, though. Okay, good. Bring both hands to the floor, and we'll change sides. So when you're ready, step your left foot forward to the outside of your left hand again. Shoot your right foot back. Bring that knee down. Now, as your right knee is on the floor, make sure your left knee is stacked over your ankle. Left foot's flat on the floor. Left thigh pretty close parallel to the floor. Left hand now to the back of your head. Turn your shoulders and point your left elbow up without lifting your left hip. Then, like the first side, 3 to 5 times. Exhalations, bring your left elbow toward your right elbow. Inhalations, point your left elbow up, turn your shoulders, and open your chest. Okay, good. Both hands to the floor. Let's return to down dog one more time. Take a few breaths here. This time, though, press your thighs back a little bit further. At the very end of this exhale, do a brief pause of your breath. And as you pause after exhale, draw your navel back toward your spine so you hollow out your abdomen for a second or two. Then relax, inhale, and repeat. Exhale all the breath out. Do the Bahir Kumbhaka, which means external breath retention, and a full engagement of Uddiyana Bandha so you hollow out your abdomen. Try that one more time. All right. Let's come down to all fours, cross your ankles, have a seat again. Let's revisit those windshield wipers. So you might want to face the long edge of your mat. For this one, so you have padding on either side of your knees. Lean back on your hands, feet like shoulder width or so. Then, like earlier, drop your knees side to side on the breath. When you inhale, they're in the center. When you exhale, they drop to one side. Now, if you want to make it more core strengthening, try with your hands off the floor. But if you take your hands off the floor and it hurts your hip or hurts your lower back, skip this part. Just keep your hands on the floor instead. And then, of course, if you want to work on mobility still a little bit more, when you go to one side, practice lifting your hips off the floor. To do that, you might need to lessen this angle between your shin and thighs a bit to use the strength of your glutes to lift your hips up. Then exhale when you sit back down. Inhale to the center, exhale to the other side, and inhale to lift your hips. Continue with those. But like I said earlier, if that bothers any of one of your joints, back off one or two steps and repeat what we did earlier. Okay. And once you've gone to both sides an equal number of times, go back to the right. Bring your hands to the floor and set up a proper 90-90 position. So you've got three 90-degree angles in your lower body. Once you have those three 90-degree angles, bring your hands to the floor outside your right thigh, or if you prefer, your forearms to the floor outside your right thigh for a twist. And stay here and breathe. Okay, unwind and change sides. Three 90-degree angles on this side, and then twist. Okay, unwind and bring the soles of your feet together for a bound angle pose or Baddha Konasana. Sit up nice and tall. Engage Jalandhara Bandha, so it feels like you're lifting your heart, bowing your head. Continue with your Ujjayi practice so you still hear the inhale and the exhale pass through your throat. And now fold forward over your feet. All right, then we'll wrap this portion of class up with a little bridging next. And lie onto your back. Bend your knees, bring the soles of your feet to the floor about hip width and parallel. And as you inhale, press your feet down, engage your glutes, lift your hips and lift your arms. Keep inhaling until the backs of your hands are on the floor behind you, hips up nice and high. And then as you exhale, slowly lower everything down. Repeat that 4 or 5 more times. Inhaling up Exhaling down, really mindful that you really ground through your feet the entire movement, even ground through your big toes, the whole movement. Now, this next time you lift up, let's stay up. We're going to stay in this bridge position. Hips nice and high, feet really grounded, backs of your hands on the floor behind you. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to lower your hips. But when you do, don't lower your arms. Keep the backs of your hands on the floor behind you. And exhale all the breath out. Once you're empty of breath, then lower your hips, hollowing out your abdomen again. Once your hips touch the floor, inhale to lift them back up. Keep your hips up as you exhale. Very end of exhale, lower down, drawing your navel toward your spine with Uddiyana Bandha. Try that one more time. All right, now draw your knees in toward your chest and make a circular motion with them so you massage your lower back on the floor. And then reverse it, go the other direction. Okay, then stretch your legs out. I'm just going to do a short corpse pose, just a brief shavasana, but make sure you're really comfortable here. Once you are comfortable, relax your jaw, release your breath, so don't worry about shaping it or controlling it anymore. We're not really practicing pranayama while we're here, but continue with your pratyahara, which means that you're drawing your awareness and your senses inward, really noticing again how it feels to be in the body today at this time. All right. And take the next minute or so to work yourself up to seated, back into any comfortable seated posture. Now, we will sit for between 5 and 10 minutes, so make sure you are comfortable. As always, feel free to grab a cushion or a folded blanket, a chair, whatever it feels like you need, so you're super comfortable here and your body will not be a distraction for the next 5 to 10 minutes. And a very important part of my morning ritual is a little kapalabhati. Kapalabhati is it's technically one of the preparatory exercises for pranayama to really help clear the nasal passages so we can breathe clearly. It's also very energizing, awakening, and heating. So it's a good one to do in the morning. We're going to do 3 separate rounds. And before I tell us the difference between these 3 rounds, let me just clarify in case you're not familiar with Kapalabhati. It's a short, sharp exhale through your nose and a passive inhale through your nose. If it's new to you, bring your hands to your navel. Make sure your navel moves toward your spine when you breathe out quickly. Let your navel relax as you breathe in passively. It could be anywhere from between one breath every 2 seconds or even up to four breaths every 1 second. Okay. We're going to do three separate rounds. Each round is going to be 36 quick breaths this way. We're going to do three different hand positions. So first, we're going to rest our hands in our lap. Second round, we're going to bring our arms up overhead. The last round, we're going to bend our elbows and touch the opposite shoulder. So each round with the different arm variations will be just slightly more challenging because we're lifting our rib cage a little more, and it's going to require a little more abdominal strength. Okay. All right. So go ahead and rest your hands in your lap. Sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. And now do 36 kapalabhati breaths. After 36, take a deep ujjayi inhale. At the very top of this inhale, pause and retain the breath in. As you retain the breath in, focus on the chin lock. So it feels like you're lifting your heart, bowing your head. Retain the breath in for as long as you can comfortably. When it feels like you need to exhale, though, exhale and then allow yourself to breathe freely again. Okay, now for the second round, bring your arms up, interlace your fingers, and press your palms to the ceiling, and do 36 more kapalabhatis. After 36, arms down, deep breath in, and pause. Do the antar kumbhaka, or internal breath retention, with Jalandhara Bandha, keeping the heart vibrant, mind tranquil. And once it feels like you need to exhale, just breathe freely again. And the last round of 36, arms up, bend your elbows, and touch the opposite shoulder with your fingertips. After 36, arms down, deep breath in, and then pause. Once you've exhaled this time, allow yourself to breathe freely. And if it feels like you need to change the cross of your legs or adjust your seat in any way, take care of that. Now practice Jiva Mudra by bringing the tip of your tongue to touch the gum line where the roof of your mouth and your front teeth meet. At the tip of your tongue, touching the gum line where the roof of your mouth and your front teeth meet. Now focus all of your awareness on the breath rising and falling through both nostrils. Without controlling it or shaping it, simply observe the sensation the breath is creating when it's rising and falling through both nostrils. If you notice one nostril is more open than the other, shift your awareness so you just focus on the breath rising and falling through the side that's not quite as open. See if you could fine tune your awareness so much that the only thing you sense is the breath rising and falling through the less active nostril. All right. Bring your palms together. Anjali Mudra. Take one last moment to enjoy the peace you've created through the practice. Start to rub your palms together, create a little heat in your hands. Finally, rest your hands over your eyes and feel the heat move in, recharging your senses. One last deep breath, and then when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. All right. Thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed class. Have a fantastic day, and I hope I get to see you soon.